All right. The last few people are getting in here. I'm gonna give a few more minutes for people to get in, or a few more seconds for people to get in, and then we'll get started here. First of all, thank you guys so much. If it hasn't popped up already, the sign up sheet for the protest should be somewhere on the video. I hate when you come to these webinars and these events and people make you wait 20, 30, 40 minutes for what you came for. You guys came because you heard about a protest and you want more information on it. So the who, what, when, where, why, hows. Well, the why is going to be in the video, but the who, what, when, where, how you can help, that sign up sheet is somewhere above, below this video. So you guys can go ahead, click on that. If for those of you guys who are really eager, again, this video is going to be replayable to you. You can go back and watch it as much or as little as you want. Okay. Well, first of all, I just want to thank everybody for showing up today. Thank everybody who scanned the card, who saw this on Facebook or who whatever, guys. Thank you so much. I know I am a random stranger. You don't know me from a can of paint. You have no reason to sit and engage with me, allow me to take some of your time right now, but I appreciate it. I appreciate this so much. So I'm going to try to stay on course. I'm going to be honest with you guys. This is a very difficult topic for me. I've been saying a lot over the past month, man. I'd rather be playing 2K right now. I'd rather be at home. Well, I am at home, but I'd rather it's 7 o'clock in the morning. I'd rather be getting ready for work. I mean, I still got to go to work, but I'd rather not be having to deal with this. But I am dealing with this, and I am going to continue to deal with this. And I'm very grateful for you guys who are stopping by to help out, okay? So let me go ahead and jump straight in. My name is Gabe Reed. For those of you guys who don't know, I'm originally from Marietta, Georgia. Moved to the Eugene area for the first time back in 2007 to attend the University of Oregon, and for the most part, I've made my home here in Eugene since that point. So I've been living in Eugene off and on for about 16 years. I have 3 daughters. All 3 were born right here in Oregon. Right there at Riverbend Hospital. 2 of my 3 kids were born there. So we've been in this community. We've been a part of this community for a while. And so, I guess you guys are here to see how I got here. For those of you guys who don't know, you're quite unsure what Mercy for Maya is or what our protest is about. In a second, I'm going to play a video that I uploaded to my TikTok that explains in full detail what happened to my daughter, Maya Bella, my middle child. Her name is Maya Bella. She is a nonverbal autistic child, and we've had multiple, not one eyewitness, but literally over half a dozen eyewitnesses come to us and tell us that they've seen, not heard, but they have literally seen my daughter and other children be abused inside of a classroom setting here in her life skills class. And so I'm going to play you guys a video right now or in a second that kind of goes into very graphic detail of what happened. But before I do that, I want to explain to you guys, why I'm here. What I'm asking for is for support, for protest, for rally. What I'm asking for is that we come together and we really make our voices heard. We come together, not just for my child, but for other children. Okay. I come to you today because, and quite honestly, I don't feel like I have a choice. My little one was hurt. Everything that we do, when we go to work, when we buy our house, when we, invest, many of us parents, we're thinking about our children. Everything that we do, we plan to share with our kids. Everything in us, we are literally biologically wired to protect our young. So when you get the information that your child has been abused, it blows my mind that people think that as a father, I wouldn't be up in arms. It blows my mind that people think that you can do something to our children and there not be consequences. But unfortunately, that's why we're here today, because as a lot of you guys know, a lot of you guys have suffered abuse at school at the hand of the district, and you've seen how very unhelpful and how very difficult it can be to get justice in this situation. So I'm really here because I feel like I have to be. I'm here because my daughter's nonverbal and she can't speak. Literally, if I do not tell my daughter's story about what happened to her in that classroom, no one will ever know. I'm here because, quite frankly, I believe that exposure therapy is the best therapy when dealing with abusers. You expose them, and then they go get therapy. Okay? I'm here because 4J tried to silence whistleblowers. I'm here not just because my daughter was abused, but because there has been an intentional cover-up to make sure that the word doesn't get out about what's happening to my kid and about what is happening to those other kids, not just in that classroom, but in other life skills classrooms. And we're going to primarily focus on children in the special needs classrooms, or in the life skills. It's called the life skills classroom in our school district. We're here because, quite frankly, we are now at a place in society where if you do not shock people, you don't make an impact. Like in 2023, it's wild to me that a father has to make a video and rally people around this idea of child abuse, not because people are against child or pro child abuse or want that to happen. That's not why I have to bring a shock to the system. I have to bring a shock to the system because the system itself, as you guys are going to see, the system itself lends itself to the abuser, and the abuser is allowed to operate in the system, and the system will protect the abuser. We're talking about the school system. We're talking about how confidentiality laws work. And this has been the status quo for so long. So many of you guys, you have run into issues with your kiddos, with the school district, whether it's 4J or another school district, and you find that just very unhelpful. And you find that your story is not uncommon. You find that many people have been through this. I'm not the first father to have his kid get abused at the hands of a special ed teacher. And unfortunately, I don't think I'll be the last. But I will say this. They're not going to abuse my kid and get away with it. And so I'm here to stand up for my daughter, and I'm here to stand up for your kid, or for you if you were abused. I'm letting you guys know I am taking a stand, and you're going to hear me say this a lot. I am never, ever, ever going to ask you guys to love my kid more than I am. I'm not even going to expect you guys to love my kid half as much as I love my kid. Okay, this is a battle that I am going to fight. I am going to take this school district head on because, quite frankly, I don't think they can beat me. I think they estimated me. I think they underestimate all of the parents. I think they underestimate our ability to come together, our ability to rally, our ability to motivate, and just how deeply and passionately we will go to whatever lengths to protect our kid. I feel that society has forgotten that. I feel the school districts has forgotten that at the end of the day, this is my child. And there is nothing that I won't do to protect it, or to protect her. So yeah, that's a little bit of why I'm here today. This Friday, October 6th at 7:30 a.m., we are going to be standing on 8th and Broadway. We'll be holding signs. We will be getting the word out because, again, I'm telling you guys, we have to expose these guys. What they don't really care if they got to give us settlement money. They don't really care if they got to make us sign NDAs. They don't really care if they got to jump through hoops. Okay. What people who abuse children and what people who cover up the abuse of children do not want is for the truth to come out. And so this Friday, what I'm proposing is very radical. Right? I'm proposing that, well, I don't think it's radical, but I think in 2023 it's radical. I'm proposing that it's time that we take these witnesses' words and we come forward. We don't just come forward legally. We don't just come forward, behind the scenes in private. We've had several IEP meetings. We've had several conversations with multiple people from the district. Those conversations are happening. Those meetings are happening. But I believe with 1,000% of my heart, when it comes to child abuse and child abusers, that the best way to protect all of us is to expose it, is to put it out there. And I'm a proponent of due process. I believe that if this person is innocent, they should be able to defend themselves. But because the system itself is going to protect them, okay? Because the system itself, the confidentiality laws make it so that if you are not willing to spend 6 figures on going to trial with a school district, they are literally legally allowed to bury the truth. They can literally hold an internal investigation into the abuse of your child, because this happened to me. This happened to us. There was an investigation into the reports of the witnesses, the same witnesses that came to me. There was an internal investigation. After the investigation commenced, these witnesses were told by several different 4J staff members and employees that they were never to speak of this again. So I want you guys to think about that for a second. These people who came to me visibly saw with their own eyes abuse taking place, and they were instructed by different people in 4J, I believe at the direction of Andy Dye, the superintendent. And if it wasn't explicitly at his direction, he's the superintendent. You do not get to be the superintendent of a school district and not take on the responsibilities for when some fucked up shit happens in that school district. Okay? So I'm putting this right at the feet of Andy Dye, because an internal investigation happened. The reports of the witnesses came forward, said, hey, we're seeing abuse. And after the investigation, they were told to never speak of this again. So there has been a concentrated effort to try to suppress the voices of my daughter and other children, to try to suppress the voices of the parents. And so I want to bring it into that. But before I do that, I want to go ahead and play this video for you guys so that you guys can know just how serious this all is. So I'm going to go ahead and play that right now. A fair warning, I do go into very graphic detailed about the abuse. This video, I believe, is only about 7 to 9 minutes. So if you want to skip, or if you find yourself needing to skip ahead because the details are too much for you to handle, don't feel bad about that. You can come back, like I said, to this video. That video is also public, so you can come back to it at another time. But I'm going to go ahead and play that for you guys right now. I have reason to believe that starting in 2021 and the 2022 school year and all the way up to August 2023, Paula McCown was physically and emotionally abusive, as well as psychologically tortured my nonverbal autistic daughter, Maya Bella Reed, as well as several of her classmates in her special needs life skills class at Charlemagne Elementary School, located in the 4J school district in Eugene, Oregon, Lane County. I also have reason to believe that several 4J district employees, with the full support of Superintendent Andy Day, deceitfully tried to cover up Paula's abuse and illegally told whistleblowers they were not allowed to speak up. During this time, I have reason to believe that Paula McCown also falsified Maya Bella's Individualized Educational Plan, or IEP. According to eyewitness account, Paula McCown would starve my daughter by not allowing her to eat when the other children had access to food. According to eyewitness account, frequently Paula McCown would seclude my daughter away from the other kids and ignore her cries of distress in front of the class. According to eyewitness account, Paula McCown would intentionally single Maya out and cuss at her in front of her classmates. According to eyewitness account, Paula McCown, who was well aware that my daughter, Maya, has sensory stimulation needs, would not allow her to go into the sensory room when she needed a sensory break as per her IEP. She did this so much so that the educational assistants, or EAs, had to post lookouts while they snuck Maya into the sensory room just so my daughter could survive the day. Multiple eyewitnesses have reported to me that Paula McCown got joy out of abusing my daughter. I have reason to believe that Paula McCown uses an IEP goal generator to come up with IEP goals for the kids and copy and pasted most of Maya Bella's IEP report. Paula Paula McCown has been quoted saying, "I can't stand that kid and I don't like that kid," when being asked why my daughter is being discriminated against. But it is my personal belief that from the many stories I've heard over the past week, that Paula McCown's favorite form of abuse and torture for my daughter Maya is a device that she called the roundy round. The roundy round, when used as intended, is a 48-inch space divider used to section off an area of the classroom. Instead, to discipline Maya, Paula McCown would coil the space divider around my little girl's body and use her foot to step on the entrance so there was no escape for Maya. I believe that this induced anxiety and panic attacks in my daughter at the time, as eyewitnesses have stated that Paula McCown would let my daughter scream for her life inside the roundy round for up to 20 minutes at a time, multiple times a day. Before Maya started Paula McCown's life skills class, she was warm and loved giving big hugs and squeezes. Now Maya is so afraid of being in enclosed spaces that sometimes the idea of someone wrapping their arms around her makes her nervous. I have eyewitness testimony that Paula McCown would commit these acts of torture and abuse on a near daily basis for 2 school years now. According to eyewitness account, my daughter, Maya Bella Reed, was discriminated against and received the worst emotional and psychological abuse out of any of the kids suffered abuse in the life skills class at Charlemagne Elementary School. One of the reasons my daughter was discriminated against is because she would stand up for herself and the other children when Paula McCown would abuse them. Other abusive acts that I've been told Paula McCown committed against Maya Bella and her classmates over the past 2 years are as followed, but not limited to: dragging children by their arms when they protested Miss Paula, dragging a boy across the floor by his leg, digging her fingernails into children when they refused to listen, using the weight of her body to physically restrain kids, intentionally stepping on the toes of one of the classmates. Again, I have been told all these things by eyewitnesses. Starting in January 2023, at least 5 whistleblowers filed several district complaints and Department of Human Services reports about the abusive tactics and hostile work environment of Paula McCown over the next few months. From those reports, the 4J School District conducted an in-house investigation in the springtime of 2023 and concluded that even with these eyewitness accounts, Paula had their full support to continue teaching the life skills class. Following the investigation, the whistleblowers were told by the district that they were no longer to speak of the illegal actions and constitutional violations of Paula McCown amongst themselves or to anyone else. It is my belief that the acts I've been told by Paula McCown has committed against my child and other children in her class not only violates 4J's standards of seclusion and restraint, but is also illegal and violates my daughter's constitutional rights as a citizen of this country. It is my belief the 4J district has been informed of these acts and are in full support of Paula McCown as a special education teacher. It is my belief that the 4J school district intended to cover this up because some of the victims, like my daughter, literally cannot speak up for themselves. It is my belief that Superintendent Andy Day and the 4J district members involved with this internal investigation wanted to keep my daughter's story in the dark, and it's my plan to bring it to the light. I cannot let my daughter's story go untold. I cannot let them sweep the abuse of my daughter under the rug. I have been told these things by eyewitnesses that my daughter fought back. She did not take Paula McCown's abuse lying down. She stood up for herself. She stood up for her friends. And according to eyewitnesses, Paula McCown hated that. I believe that my nonverbal autistic daughter did everything to stand up to her abuser, and now her father is going to stand up to the people who tried to cover up her abuse. We cannot let school districts keep reports of abuse of our children away from the parents. We cannot let power operate behind closed doors. The people who I've named today have a responsibility to the parents and children of this community. I believe that if the 4J school district believes that the roundy round is an acceptable form of punishment for nonverbal autistic children, then the 4J school district should have to explain why they believe that to be acceptable.
And it should not be done in some back room with lawyers. It should be done in the public to the people who are impacted by the use of the Roundy Round. I believe that if the 4J school district thinks that what Paula McCown has done to these children isn't child abuse, then they should have to explain that to the children affected by Paula McCown's actions. It is my belief that if the internal investigation found the actions of Paula McCown not to be child abuse, then I believe that the 4J's investigation disagrees with the law. I will tell my daughter's story because she is incapable of telling it herself. That's why I believe she was targeted, because Paula McCown knew that Maya would never speak out. They thought they could get away with it, and I'm here to tell Paula and the 4J school district, you will not. They thought, excuse me, I think what they want from me is to fight this quietly, come to a small settlement, sign an NDA, and I will not. I think what you want me to do is silently transfer my kid to another school and move on. We are moving on, but we are not doing so silently. I think what the district wants is me to bury this story before it gets started, and I am telling you, you will have to put a bullet in my head before I do not talk about what happened to my daughter. I will talk to every reporter. I will inspire every content creator. I will make this a topic on every podcast. I promise my daughter and the 4J's district will hear Maya's story. If you would like to donate or support my mission to let the world know what happened to my daughter and the kids in the life skills class at Charlemagne Elementary School, you can go to GoFundMe.com/F/Mercy-4-Maya. GoFundMe.com/Mercy-4-Maya and donate there. If you have any information on this story or would like to get in contact with me, you can email me at mercyformaya@gmail.com. If you watch this to the end, then I am begging you, please light up the algorithm for me. The power of the press and the power of social media is the only hope Maya and I have to fight a district with a $600 million budget and every connection imaginable to try and silence me. Comment, share, retweet, green screen, remix, repost, download the video, upload it to another social media site. Please get Maya Bella's story out. We have a long uphill road ahead of us as I plan to take the district head on. I do not fear the outcome. I do not fear the backlash. The only thing I fear is dying before nobody hears my daughter's side of the story. Thank you.
You know, for me, that video was easily one of the hardest things I've ever had to record. One of the hardest things that I've ever had to read was the words from the testimony of the eyewitnesses. And it was very difficult to process. It's been very difficult to process, as many of you guys know who've been through situations like this. But here's what I keep thinking about, because some people are saying, Gabe, what you're doing is very radical, right? Because what I want to do is hold a protest Friday, October 6th, where we are going to expose both the name and the face of this abuser. Okay, we're going to expose both the name and the face of the superintendent responsible for this school district. This is what is going to happen, right? I'm determined to do this. And people may say that, man, that's a little radical, because what if they're innocent? What if you're doing all this, you're organizing all these people, you're going through this length, and you're wrong? I want you guys to think about something for a second. You guys got to remember that multiple eyewitnesses came and said that these things that they saw, they witnessed abuse. And for whatever reason, 4J decided that those multiple eyewitnesses, that their testimony to the abuse was not enough to say that the abuse was abuse. So I want to help you guys really put yourself in this situation and really think about this. Let's play it out on both sides. Let's say that what the witnesses say is false. Let's say all these people, these multiple people who have come to us and says we have witnessed firsthand abuse taking place in the classroom. Let's say all these people are lying. Do you know how fucked up of a person you gotta be for just 5, 6, 7, 8 of your coworkers to just make up a lie about you, for all these people to collude together? Because that's what 4J is alleging. 4J, they're alleging that these witnesses' claims are untrue. That means that these people are working together to lie about this woman. Do you know how messed up of a person you have to be for people to want to tell this type of lie? You guys really want me to believe that all these people's stories, which, by the way, guys, my daughter, according to the eyewitnesses' testimony, didn't even get the worst abuse, right? So I'm not here trying to sensationalize this story. I'm not here trying to make it more than what it is. No, this is really happening. This is really happening. And from the eyewitnesses' account, my daughter wasn't even getting it the worst. Why would these people lie? People only lie because it serves them. People only lie because they benefit from it. All of these eyewitnesses have been removed from my daughter's classroom, except for, all of them have. All of them have been removed from the classroom. Some were fired, some were transferred, some just quit because they couldn't deal with the abuse that they were seeing and also the poor working conditions. So even if it's false, my question is to Andy Dye, why are you running such a district where these type of lies can get back to parents? Why are you not having a conversation with the parents of the children involved? Why do you guys put up a wall between the truth, right? And you just want us to just believe that these people are lying, even though you are actively putting up a wall between the truth. If these people are lying, then the only way that I'm going to figure out if they're lying is to expose this case. Because 4J, and many of you guys know, when there's accusations of abuse, and many people who've dealt with abuse in school districts know, that the school's policy is always to give you good legalese talk, say what they believe, right? But not give you definitively anything. They don't really give you anything that you can go back as a parent and have peace of mind about. But let's say that this is true, which feels more likely, right? In another video on my TikTok channel, and I'll probably put it up here, but you can see that I've caught these guys committing attendance fraud. To this day, they are saying that my daughter is going to school when she's not going to school in that district, right? Like I demonstrate on my TikTok, and I show you guys that on the IEP is written that my daughter can do certain skills that I know she can't do. Whether 4J wants to realize it or not, or Andy Dye wants to realize it or not, they all look guilty. I have them on multiple offenses against my daughter. And if this is true, that means that Paula had an infinite number of opportunities to stop the abuse. She had an infinite number of opportunities to just quit the job. It's too stressful for her. She can't handle it. She had an infinite number. Every morning she woke up, she got dressed, she brushed her teeth, she got in her car, she drove to work, and every day she made a conscious decision not to stop the abuse. Not to conduct herself in such a way that nobody could even think about saying these things. I'm not this person saying, let's burn the whole system down. I've never had a bad experience with a teacher like this in my public education. When I did public education from kindergarten to 12th, I've never had an experience like this. So I'm not saying we burn the whole system down. That's not what I'm proposing here. I'm just saying we can't negotiate the safety of our kids. And I'm not negotiating the safety of my kid with anybody in any school district. If I cannot drop my kid off at school and they be safe, we have a problem. We have a problem. And school districts need to feel that on a constant basis. Like, it should be a requirement for them to feel, hey, if our kids aren't safe, yes, you're going to have to answer in court. Yes, you're going to have to answer with the state, but you're going to have to answer to the parents. You're going to have to answer to the people that you serve. If these allegations are true, that means that Andy Dye and multiple employees had the opportunity to speak up. They had the opportunity to stop. You know, a lot of things have been shocking about this, but one of the most shocking things about this is to find out that multiple people knew about my daughter's case for months and I had no idea. Some of you guys watching this video, you knew of my daughter's case and I had no idea. People were talking about this. And I just think about how many times I dropped my kid off there and this woman smiled in my face as she took my kid's hand and led her into the classroom. And then I come to find out that my kid is being tortured there. I come to find out that my kid isn't really learning anything there. That for 2 years, I've been dropping my kid off at a place of abuse. A place that's been traumatizing for her. So much so to the point that academic environments are now triggering for her. When we try to get her in other therapies and everything, it's triggering. She's aggressive now. Way more aggressive than she was when she first started school. And so the protest that I'm proposing is coming not from a place of just, unfiltered anger. It's not coming from a place of, let's take the whole system down. No, it's coming from a place of, you fucked with my kid, period. That should be enough for a parent to stand up and say, let's protest. You are messing with our children. You cannot afford to not be above reproach. Because the bottom line is this. If in a predominantly neurotypical, predominantly verbal, and predominantly white community, my nonverbal autistic black daughter can't get safety, do you really think any other kid can get safety here? Like if the special needs children, it's in the title. They have special needs. It's in the title of their curriculum. They need something that other children don't need. And if those children can't be protected, right? Anybody who's ever dealt with a special need person knows these people aren't complicated. They don't want a big house and fancy cars. They don't want you to stroke their ego and tell them how amazing they are like everybody else does in society. They don't want to exploit you. They don't want to manipulate you. For a lot of us, our one source of goodness is our special needs child. I look at my autistic daughter and go, man, she's living the life. I've never seen this little girl stress over bills or stress over somebody not liking her at school or this or that. She's in her own world. Why can't she be safe at school? Why does she have to be in an environment where the teacher can even be brought up on allegations of abuse? You got to think about it. If you're a teacher inside of 4J, do you really want to be a coworker of a teacher who these allegations can even be brought up? Because yes, if you're a 4J district employee, this reflects on you. And that's the problem. We keep sweeping these issues under the rug. And now it's boiled up to a point to where we have to expose. We have to say something. We have to do it. I don't have a choice. I have to bring this story forward. And so again, I told you guys, I'm never going to ask you guys to love my kid as much as I love him. I'm never going to ask you guys to love my kid half as much as I love my kid. But I'm here to let you guys know that here in Eugene, with the 4J school district, and not just here in Eugene, but all across this country, it is the confidentiality laws that protect the abuser. The school districts care more about their reputation than the safety of their kids. And at some point as parents, As citizens, we got to go, no. Our children have a constitutional right to a free, appropriate public health care. Our children have a constitutional right to the autonomy of their body. We're not negotiating these things with you. And as a school district, you either ensure that these things are happening or we're coming for you. That shouldn't be like weird to people. In what world can you not keep my child safe and not think you're going to have to see me? But that's the arrogance of power. That's the arrogance of the abuser. Remember, anytime you think that this is too much or this is too far, remember, allegedly, this person committed the abuse in a public setting. The abuse wasn't in private. The abuse was at a public education facility. The abuse was at an elementary school in the public. And what I want to tell you guys today is that evil doesn't reign because evil is smarter than you, or evil is quicker than you, or evil can do things better than you. No, evil reigns because you know the good you ought to do and you don't do it. Evil reigns because good men and women don't have the courage to be bold. Abusers and people who cover up abuse, they're bold. They will abuse our children publicly. They will lie to our face. They will tell us things that we know don't help us and don't lead us to justice. They're bold. And I'm here to tell you that if you're going to take a stand for what's right, if you're going to take a stand for what's true, if you're going to take a stand to protect the children, you have to be bold. You don't get another option. If you're not bold, they won't take you seriously. If you're not bold, they'll just keep doing it. They'll just keep going. And on Friday, we are getting bold. Again, I totally understand if this is not something you feel like you can dive both feet head first into. Okay? I don't judge you. I understand. Okay? And I understand if it's too short notice. This is why I say there are going to be other rallies. There's going to be other protests. On that form, there's a place for your email so I can get in contact with you at a later date. For other events and services, you can follow our Facebook page. We are at Mercy for Maya on all platforms. This is not going away. We can't let this go away. We can't let them sweep our children's abuse under the rugs and we just continue on with our lives. How? How can I continue on with my life? How can I ever trust another school district again when the school district I currently have is not being transparent with me? They want me to trust them with my kid, but they aren't willing to be transparent with me. No, fuck you. I'm not doing it. And that's how I feel. And as a parent, I'm here to tell you, you have a right to feel that way. You have a right to feel like, fuck you. You mess with my kid. That is a very natural and a very human response when you find out that something terrible has been happening to your kid. Okay? So I've spoken for a long time. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. Friday, 7:30 a.m. At the corner of 8th and Franklin. Okay, in front of the Whole Foods, we're going to hold signs. We're going to protest. We're going to pass out flyers. We're going to make this woman's name and face recognizable. That's what we're going to do. At least that's what I'm going to do. I'm asking for your support. If you can't make it, but you believe in the cause, please donate to my daughter's GoFundMe. We are going to need help fighting this case. If you're a lawyer, if you're an advocate, if you are anybody, please reach out to me on Facebook. Again, at Mercy for Maya. You can follow our Facebook page. And it's just time, guys. It's time that we make the voices of our children heard. It's time that we help the school districts understand. Y'all serve us. It's not the other way around. Y'all serve our children. You have a responsibility to make sure our children are safe. You have a responsibility to make sure that I, as a parent, feel great about dropping my kid off at school. You have a legal obligation to give our children free, appropriate public education. You have an obligation, particularly when it comes to the special needs children, to understand you're working with me. This is a symbiotic relationship here. You do not tell me what is best for my kid. That's not how the 504s, the IEPs work. It's not how it works. It is time that we hold these school districts accountable. This is for all you guys who've been abused, whose kids have been abused. You do not have to be silent. You do not have to sit there and wonder, when is justice going to come? You can speak up right now. I'm giving you the opportunity. Friday, 7:30 a.m. at the corner of 8th and Franklin. We're going to pass out flyers. We're going to protest. We're going to let the world know that in Eugene, Oregon, you do not mess with our children. Thank you, guys.